It's Traumedy Tuesday. You are listening to Traumedy, the podcast that shows us how to take our pain and play with it. I'm your host, Nancy Norton. I'm a comedian, I'm a former nurse, I'm studying therapeutic humor, and I want you to know you're not alone. That's the main purpose of this podcast, to help people know you are not alone out there. We have been through some stuff. You've been through some stuff. We can show each other how to get through it. I'm a speaker. I talk about the power of humor, why we need it, why it should be a higher priority. Humor helps us heal. It bonds us with others. It gives us resilience and much, much more. Make humor a higher priority in your day and see the results yourself. Trigger warning. There's some bad news and some good news. Bad news. This episode deals with child sexual abuse, suicidal ideation, and narcissistic abuse, sociopathic abuse. You know, the gifts that just keep on giving when you have childhood abuse. The good news is happy endings and some comedy. Welcome to Traumedy. My guest this week is Sherri Harper. Sherri and I met doing comedy in Longmont, I believe. I don't know. Where were we? Do you know where we were?
Yes, I do know where we were. We were at a little coffee shop in Denver.
Storytelling. Nurses doing storytelling.
Yes.
So it was a healthcare related show.
Yeah.
Where we met at this place called Bicycle
Cafe?
Bicycle Cafe.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Wow, we got there.
Phew. All right.
Anyway, I loved your sense of humor around healthcare. It was absolutely real. It was valid. I just loved it. I remember thinking, yeah, we got to talk more. And then we did. And
we did.
And here we are now.
Yeah. It definitely is a coping mechanism to use humor to deal with stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean.
Are you still doing comedy?
So I've taken a break from it, but I'm supposed to go ahead and have something that's coming up at the end of August. I'm on the new Faces contest at Comedy Works.
Oh, yeah. You're doing new faces.
Yeah.
Oh, crush it.
All right.
If you're a storyteller style, it's so hard to do contests because I think you're a bit of a storyteller.
I am a bit of a storyteller.
Yeah, so contests are tight and it's tough to find those tight bits sometimes.
And I'm having to totally rework what I used to talk about because I used to talk about marriage.
Oh.
And I'm not good at that.
Now you get to talk about divorce.
I can talk about divorce. I'm proficient in divorce. I've been divorced 3 times now.
Way to go.
Thanks.
That's good. You could listen, seriously. I want you to really take this in. I actually mean it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Because if we have a trauma history, whatever, I don't know your trauma history. We'll see if you want to share it.
Yeah.
But for me, when I did my inventory, my 4th step, I was looking at my patterns in relationships and I saw my pattern, you know, and I mean, everybody has good qualities in there.
Right.
My ex-husband, I still love him. Ex-wife, I will never speak to her again, ever.
Yep.
Like, because I alternate between really nice alcoholics and sociopaths. And the sociopaths, I do not. No, thank you.
That's kind of my pattern too. I actually, if you talked to all 3 of my ex-husbands, they were all married to 3 different women. So,
because you in relationship, you show up differently.
Exactly.
Now, I don't want to label you, and you don't have to label yourself.
Right.
Do you have any sense of any codependency in your?
Definitely in my past I have. Okay. I am happy to report that I have recently completed 9 years of therapy.
Oh.
And so
are you clocking out?
I am clocking out. My therapist actually was
you graduated?
I graduated. She's like,
high five. Hey everybody. I mean, come on. Let's celebrate. I don't think I'm gonna graduate in this lifetime. I gotta be honest. You did.
Yes, I have to tell you, I never thought that I'd get to this point. But she finally was like, so Sherri, we just talk about your dogs mostly in therapy. Do you have any concerns that you really want to dig into? And I was like, I don't. Something that I learned over the course of completing that was that you want your toolbox to be bigger than your baggage.
Oh, this is beautiful. I want to hire a cartoonist to draw some of this stuff.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Cool? Because I don't like doing video for this podcast for the reason I told you earlier.
Yes.
I think it just brings out more of a performer energy sometimes for me. This is me projecting onto other people. But I like, because I'm I don't know. I just like when I'm just talking, I feel like I drop into my body and my, emotional environment easier.
Yeah.
So I don't have any video, but I think it would be cool to have a cartoonist or something like that.
Very much.
Have some stuff. So that'd be cool. The toolbox.
Yeah,
Okay.
you want your toolbox to be bigger than your baggage.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. So finally, I was like, you know what? I'm
Shit.
tired of carrying this baggage around, and I don't need to do that anymore. And I have the tools in my toolbox to make myself feel better.
Ah.
And so finally, I got to a point where I've got the toolbox that's bigger than the baggage. And so she's like, and go off, my friend. And so, yeah. It was good.
That's incredible. And I want to know, like, I'm picturing your baggage getting smaller
Exactly.
because you're this is the thing that I struggle with is, I mean, you hear it all the time. You just got to let go of that. Let go.
Right.
But how?
Yeah.
How do you let go?
Right.
I want tools, and that's part of the toolbox is hey, and of course, one of the things about holding on to stuff is trying to stay safe.
Yes.
What I've learned is in my recovery work is we have a thunderstorm. I don't know if they
really
can hear
cool.
it. And we're in a thunderstorm today.
I love it.
I do too. I love thunderstorms.
Mm-hmm.
Just that sign of, I don't know. There's a energy to it. And a movement and a cleansing.
Cleansing. That's what I was thinking is it's a cleansing. Yeah. I really like it. I think one of the biggest tools in my toolbox was self-forgiveness. And that was so hard for me. I grew up with a ton of shame. I'll just dive right in if that's okay.
Let's do it.
My parents divorced when I was 4 years old, and my mom brought us here to Colorado. We had lived in Missouri at the time. And
I'm from the
I
Ozarks.
know you are. So we lived in a little tiny town called Licking.
Wow, that sounds like a Missouri town.
It is a definite Missouri town.
Licking, Missouri.
I don't think we had a stoplight. I think it was all stop sign. And yeah, it was a very, we lived next door to a lady named Dode, and Dode had monkeys and turtles. And you would walk into her house and there were plastic swimming pools in her living room with turtles and monkeys. I remember just Dode. It was
very exotic.
very exotic.
Now that's not typical of Missouri. But then again, Missouri, you know what I like about Missouri? There's a little bit of everything there.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is just, and it is sort of we just do what we do over here. Dodes.
That's right.
I don't mean to talk like that. I shouldn't. That's not always how Missouri people talk. I apologize to the Missourians out there. My dad would be we did not speak like that. But so what part of Missouri is that? Licking.
I know it's close to, is it Jefferson City? Is that
That's the capital.
Okay.
Right there. Jefferson City's on I-44, kind of between St. Louis and Springfield, my hometown.
I know that it's close to that because that's where my sister was born. So it's around
She's
that
born
area.
in Jeff City.
Yep.
Well,
So we moved from Missouri here to Colorado. And my mom thought it was a really good idea to get us involved in the cult church that her brother was involved in. So we
always
joined,
a good idea to get in a cult, Sherri.
I mean, you've got two little girls. Why wouldn't you bring them into a cult where the sexual abuse is rampant?
Oh,
why not?
Yeah.
It's a great idea, Mom.
So she was in denial
Absolutely.
of the sexual abuse.
She was sexually abused by this brother growing up.
The brother who's in the cult
Yes.
sexually abused your mom.
Yes.
Her brother sexually abused her. And he's in the cult.
Yep. And he has 3 little boys that are the same age as the daughters. So, yep, let's mix everybody together. And yeah, so it was a mess from the beginning where I was just like, is this our life now? And I remember having this longing for my dad, and my dad couldn't be there. He was wrapped up in some of his own stuff, dealing with his own demons, and I just had to suck it up. I was the oldest. My sister is 2 years younger than me, and so it was just this is it. You got to suck it up. So I went through that entire process. This is how it was. We we were like ingrained into the cult church. So
Of course.
you go to school there. I went K through 12
Oh my gosh.
at this religious school. And it was one of those kind of like, it reminded me a lot of that Warren Jeffs guy because we had to wear the dresses and you couldn't wear makeup.
Oh, is this the guy that
He's the Mormon guy
that he was at the Netflix documentary about?
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, I had to tiptoe real carefully when I watched that because it was pretty triggering.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it was like all of that. And women, I remember being taught in kindergarten that the entire purpose for a woman is to meet a man's needs.
Oh, yeah. And that's not such a stretch from the patriarchy. I'm sorry. There is a bit.
It's true.
I mean, I hate to say that we are just now starting to, I feel like women of your age and younger are starting to really, they're teaching me how to assert boundaries because there is a part of me that's under the spell still.
Right.
And I'm just cracking that a
Right.
little bit. Like, I'm not here for you.
That's right.
I'm not here to look good for you. Even though I've been a tomboy and everything, there's still a part of me that has that ingrained.
Exactly.
But in that church, it was not just implicit, it was explicitly said,
Yep.
that's the doctrine. That's the dogma.
Right.
That is like, you are here to please a man.
That's
and
right.
You better dress accordingly, look pretty,
Yep.
wear a dress.
Yep.
Did you have to have your hair a certain way? Or
No, we didn't have to have our hair a certain way, but longer was better. You know, short hair wasn't approved of. And I remember a friend of mine, she had been sexually abused by her cousin. And so she went to confess it to our youth pastor and tell him, you know, this is what's been going on, and kind of like a cry for help. And the youth pastor actually said to her, "What was your part in it? You need to apologize to him. What did you do?" And I was just like, after I heard that, there was a real turning point for me when I realized that it was all bullshit. And that was when I was 11. It was one Sunday and it was snowing outside, and I was leaving the service to go to the bathroom, and I was coming around the corner, and there was a homeless man who was trying to get in, and he wanted to warm himself. And so I'm thinking, why wouldn't you let him in? And the deacon was talking to him about how he smelled bad and how he couldn't come in to warm himself because there was a service going on. And I remember thinking right there, if this Jesus person was here, he would totally let him in.
Yes.
That is what his teachings are.
And wash his feet.
Exactly. And make him a sandwich or something. Bread, loaves and fishes. I don't know. But I was just like, and I remember thinking that as an 11-year-old, because my dad was always very grounded and very, look, I know that your mom has you in some crazy shit. He didn't know about this, by the way, until I was an adult. I never told him about the sexual abuse that was going on. But he always kept me grounded and was like, you know what, just get through it, bide your time. Once you get out, you can be whatever you want to be. And so he kind of always gave me the hope that, you know what, this is temporary and that someday it's going to be okay.
Yeah. So you maintained contact with your dad on the phone and stuff?
Yes.
But he was in another state?
Correct.
And you were longing for that protector to be there and that stabilizing force.
Yeah, my mom was nuts. I haven't spoken to her for 9 years. And when I cut that relationship out, that's kind of how everything started to come into place for me.
Wow. I did the math. It wasn't hard. 9 years of therapy.
Yeah.
And because it took that much time to deprogram a little bit.
Yeah.
And get that voice out
and just not to have to be in that fight or flight mode, flight or freeze. That's the other component of it is that I did a lot of freezing.
Yeah. And now they're saying fawn. So there's fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And fawn, what I understand, is placating, is basically like, oh, I'll do whatever you say to keep myself safe.
Right.
And that sounds like something you would probably do
absolutely.
a lot in a cult where there's freeze, but then you might get in trouble for freezing.
Right.
So you'll fawn.
Yes.
So that it appears that you are going along with the culture. And wow.
Yeah.
So somebody used you sexually.
Yeah. I had 2 cousins. And I was just like, okay, this is how this is. And I mean, I've done a lot of work there was just so much shame and everything around it. That's the biggest part, is this shame.
Because they said, you knew, like from your friend who did the confessional, it's, oh, what did you do?
Right.
How did you make this happen?
Yeah.
It couldn't have been that these people used and abused you.
Right.
Yeah.
It was your fault. So yeah, I carried that around for a long time. And so then when I got to therapy and could kind of start unpacking all of that, and was like, wow, I don't have to carry this around anymore.
No.
This feels so much lighter. And so, yeah, I was able to just create the life I want. And I don't remember where I was going with that. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, we're not, I don't know that we were going in. I don't know where you were going. I don't know where I was going either. I just feel like, okay, this was your history.
Yeah.
And
I just remembered.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, because I was talking about how the 3 husbands were married to 3 different people.
Yes.
And so the first husband was like my savior to get me out of the cult church. So I actually moved out as soon as I could. I went to X-ray school straight out of high school. I worked for about 6 months. And then I was able to start being able to afford my own apartment. My first apartment was over off of I-25 in Evans, and I paid $230 for a 1-bedroom. This was back in 1990, and so
And you were like 18 or 19.
Yep. And so I was able to afford it, and I was still I wasn't able to. Looking back, I wasn't able to stand on my own 2 feet yet. I felt like I still needed someone. And so I was dating this guy that I worked with, and he ended up becoming the father of my 2 kids. We got married. My original plan, interestingly enough, was to go to New York. I was going to use X-ray school and go to New York and become a fashion designer.
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah, that was the plan. And then I got pregnant. And so then it was like, plans change. And so I ended up having my 2 kids, and I was married to that guy for 10 years. And we ended up just going in we got together so young.
Yeah.
And who we grew up to be were not compatible. Mm-hmm. And so we said adieu and bid each other adieu. And yeah, he's still, he lives where I live. I live in Longmont. He lives up there too. He's remarried to a lovely woman. And so it's all amicable and everything. And then my second husband.
Well, before we go to your second husband,
sure.
I just want to chime in and say, isn't that great? Like that helps us know, like, I don't know. There are individual differences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be somebody that's a bridge burner all the time. My first husband, I got married at 20. And somebody said to me, oh, you must have really wanted out of the house. And I was like, I never thought of it that way, but yeah.
Yeah.
And George and I, my ex-husband, who I am still friends with, he and I put each other through college. We took turns.
Yeah.
He had the GI Bill, but we lived in a little house in Springfield, Missouri, a 2-bedroom house with a yard and everything for $200 a month.
Isn't that amazing?
And then I went to nursing. Well, I was an art major when we got together, and then he had just gotten out of the Marine Corps. So he was 20. He'd gone in for 3 years. So he was, just 21 or 22. And I was 20 when we got married. And yeah. And George and I, same thing. He's such an introvert and does not have an adventure. Like, he loves being at home. And I love a sense of adventure.
Right.
But it served us. We did give ourselves this launch, and we moved to Hawaii. He used to live there.
Wow.
And then we had a lot of fun in Hawaii with his sister, and her kids were there. And all I'm saying is, I just love reflecting on, let's remember that that's, for me, I'm saying it almost like, let's remember we do attract nice people. Like, there are, we're complicated.
Yeah.
But that, and George, and then I shouldn't maybe be talking about him, but yeah. Anyway, we grew apart, and we're still friends. I just saw him.
Good.
I just saw him a couple months ago. My heart just felt so good, and I love his wife, and she and I are friends.
That's wonderful.
Like, we are friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was calling her sister wife, but I don't know if she appreciated that. I probably need to call her and go, sorry. But she was super sweet. She is very, very kind to me, and I think she knows I'm not a threat.
Right.
You know, George does not want to be with me anymore, and I don't want to be with him in that way, but I love him. He's always going to be family to me. And of course, your husband's family because he's the father of your children.
Exactly. And I'm so happy that my kids have this wonderful stepmom in their life. It's just, I mean, because you always worry about that. Is like, who's going to end up and are they going to be mean and all that stuff? And she's just the nicest person.
That's got to be terrifying. You know, the blessing and curse of my situation with my son is that I am the sole parent as I adopted him. And then my ex she did not want anything to do with him. Wow. And honestly, I think it was more about hurting me than it wasn't about him. It's just who she is as a person. She doesn't have anything to offer a child. She told me I ruined her life by adopting a child. But you know what? It all worked out for the highest good. But I know my lawyer would say that because I was crushed. And then she'd go, just be glad you don't have to drop him off at her house. Can you imagine? So I do. I just want to send out love to any parent out there that is co-parenting with narcissist, sociopath. These people are terrifying. And the law wants us to stay connected with our bio parents, and I get that, but man, sending love to those people, woo, that's a tough one.
Out.
Yeah, send it all out and protection.
Yeah,
I know. I'm big on putting like the big golden light around the children.
Absolutely.
So I'm so glad for you that your child or two children, have a cool stepmom.
Yeah,
and a dad,
and they have a good stepdad too. So then the second husband, he was their stepdad. So there was a time when their dad was having some personal issues, and so he wasn't in their life as much as he could have been. He needed some time. He had gone through some trauma in the Army when he was in there, and he needed to work through it. And so my second husband came in and had this Insta family. The kids were about 8 and 11, I guess, when he stepped into their life. And so we were together for about 10 years. Oh. And again, nice guy. We still go to lunch probably once a month. I mean,
and the girls, you have daughters or?
I have a son and a daughter.
Oh, and so your kids liked him and still like him. And they had a good rapport.
In fact, he's my son's roommate. My son has a house in Longmont, and he actually rents a room from my son. So they still, it's funny. They're like an odd couple or something, like the grumpy old man and then the young kid.
They could have a sitcom.
They totally could. Oh my gosh, did you want to hear something crazy? So when they all, when the marriage broke up, we had gone through some traumatic things with my daughter. She unfortunately had a sexual assault as well. And I
hate how common. I hate how common.
It's so common.
Like if you talk to, I don't know if I've even met a woman who hasn't been sexually assaulted.
I know.
I don't know. And again, after listening to Cody Spiker's episode where we're learning more about consent, it's like, golly. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
it's okay.
It's awful. So she was sexually
assaulted, and then she spiraled down into a horrible depression and had a couple of suicide attempts, and nearly succeeded. It was just, it was very scary. And you know, as a parent, you want to protect your kids from everything. And I had so much guilt that I couldn't protect her from that, especially with my background and the way I was raised. I vowed to never let anything like that happen to my kids. And here it happened. And it was like I couldn't do anything. And so
you weren't in a position to do anything.
I wasn't. No.
I mean, you do see that, I guess.
I do.
But it's
through
still
the therapy and the learning to forgive and all that stuff, I can see that now. But so we went through so much trauma as a couple that we were tired. Honestly, at the end of 10 years. And he came to me and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, he never kind of envisioned himself as having kids. And so when he married me, it was this Insta family. And he played a part. It was really important to his parents that he have children and do all of that stuff. And so he wanted to go back to being a pizza guy stoner. And so I was like, go be happy. And so again said, see you later, and ended that.
But you ended amicably.
We did. We actually went to the courthouse. We high-fived when we signed the papers, and then we went to lunch and had some really, really good sandwiches. So yeah, it was
Loaves and fishes.
That's right, loaves and fishes.
My favorite sandwich. I love that you high-fived. You know, it's so funny because George, my ex, he's a very kind person, and he and I, he was I think he was still living in Hawaii when we divorced, and because we had separated a year and a half, and he was like, hey, there's no reason to get divorced unless one of us wants to get married. We'd already separated the finances, the money, everything. That part was all done. And so when I did feel like, oh, I got to stop saying my husband's calling, because it's just, I just felt like it wasn't who I really was, you know?
Yeah.
I just felt like I was kind of living a bit of a lie or something.
Yeah.
So I did say, I think it's time that we really finalize our divorce. It doesn't look like we're going to get back together. Anyway, all I'm saying is he wrote this beautiful letter, which I need, if I've got some things in files I need to get back out and just, it was beautiful. And he just said, Nancy and I have parted ways with a great deal of respect for one another. And I can't remember the rest of it.
Aww.
But this judge looked at me like with astonishment and said, is this true? And I was like, yes. And it was just
That's lovely.
It was almost disorienting to the judge.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, they see so much stuff where people are just like my third marriage. And
Yeah.
okay,
we're getting there. We're easing into the third marriage.
That's right.
Mine was my second marriage, but yours is your third.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So hang on a second.
All right.
Where were we? I jump in and interrupt, and so you guys high five.
We
You had a
high-fived.
nice meal.
Right.
And now you're friends, and
Yeah.
and that's true. It's fine. Like, hey man, if you want a low stress life, and actually my ex really he does not like stress and doesn't do well with stress.
Right.
And I am a bit of an adrenaline addict, and I'm trying to work on that at this point, but I love, that's the stand-up piece,
Right.
and I also run late to gigs. So I'm like, there's an excitement getting there and driving really badly with my lazy eye. So yeah. Anyway, cool. So you're just understanding. Like,
Yeah. So when I kind of dated a few people here and there, and kind of vowed that I was never going to get married again. I wasn't going to be that. I wasn't going to be Joan Collins, where I ended up having many.
Is this like the thing with your dogs? Like only 5 dogs and only 2 marriages?
That's right.
Oh, now you.
That's
okay.
right. I was drawing the line.
Now I know you're going to get another dog.
I have some class. Yeah. That's class with a K.
Class.
So, yeah, I dated a few people, and it was kind of around that time that I was like, I need to get some help, so I started going to therapy, and it was good for me, but
This is about the time you broke off communication with your mom?
yes.
Was it before or after? Did the divorce, was there something during the divorce was there a catalyst that helped you go, that's it?
With my mom?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So she was having some heart surgery. It was a procedure, I should say. It wasn't exactly invasive. And she lived in Littleton. I was in Longmont. So I was going to come down to her place and take care of her after the surgery. And she called me the night before the surgery and was like, hey, just so you know, your aunt is going to be there. Well, this is the mother of the boys that abused me. I purposefully cut off contact with them years ago because I just didn't want to be triggered anymore. And so if there was a family event and they were going to be there, I was going to say bye. So I told her, I'm like, no, Mom, I'm not okay with that. I'm going to be your caregiver for a couple of weeks. And so I need for you to go ahead and tell her no, thank you. And she's like, yeah, no, she's going to be there with a few ladies from the church. And I'm like, Mom, you pick her or you pick me. And she picked her.
She picked her.
And I was like, that's it. I can't do this anymore. So that was my line in the sand. And I'm telling you,
good for you.
Yeah.
You set a boundary, you took care of yourself, and as much as that, I know that hurt, but the freedom.
Yeah.
And the clarity.
Yeah.
The clarity, like, oh.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. And it didn't go real smooth at first. I drank about it quite a bit. I had some vodka, and and I would get pretty low and then think about, well, if your own mother doesn't pick you, then why, what's the point, and then I had to really like work with my therapist and rise above it and be like, what about your kids? Are you going to make that ripple effect happen to your kids? And, cause if you do think about going down that path of suicide, it's never just one and done.
No.
It's a ripple effect that affects, if there's an EMS people that come and find you, if there's police officers that find you, if there's funeral home people. I mean, it just, you think about this ripple and it just keeps going and it affects everybody.
And then, especially your children.
Yeah.
And anyone who loved you or your friends. And I know. And I had suicidal ideation after my ex and all that stuff where I went to jail and the dominoes just fell in my life. I was disoriented. Like, who have I been with for 11 years? Who am I? How did I, and then all the, like, really, and this is something we'll get to, I'm sure, with some of this. Well, the Safe House told me I'd been with a sociopath for 11 years. And I've learned since, and there's still so much. I have to say, I love TikTok now. There's so much information out there about narcissistic abuse, sociopath, and stuff like that. But anyway, I was so devastated. I lost all my community except for 3 core people, and I realized when you're a mother of a toddler, like, you can't even take a nap when you want to. That's the thing I'm thinking. Like, I can't even take a nap. Are you kidding me? I can't kill myself.
Right.
But still, I let myself have the little fantasy of relief. And honestly, my fantasy was that I stood next to a suicide bomber. Not me. I didn't do it.
Okay.
Because that's like, I couldn't do that. But man, and I was so jealous. This is for real. Jealous of people who were, I would hear it on the news. Suicide bomber kills 17. I'm like, I bet that feels great.
Those lucky bastards.
Yes, those lucky bastards. It's got to feel cool to be blown into confetti, like vaporized. And I thought, my spirit is just going to be like, yeah. I mean, serious. I am not exaggerating. I was jealous. But then I would look at my beautiful son and I remember why I'm here. And I would go, oh, yeah, I have this whole earth thing I'm doing. And this little boy who's beautiful and funny, and I can't even take a nap or he might get into trouble.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
I feel you.
But you're having, when your own mother, and this is, I feel it.
Yeah.
You and I both have mother stuff. That is, you hear these quotes, a face only a mother could love. And I'm like, my mother did not love my face.
No.
I'll be honest with you. Or I don't, okay. I don't want to speak for her. It did not feel, I have to phrase things. I did not feel loved, wanted, or celebrated.
Right.
In some ways I was, in the ways that whenever I fawned, whenever I did what she wanted, I felt loved. Right. But I think just as an extension of her.
Right.
All right.
Oh, my mom was in love with herself. Yeah. And everything had to be picture perfect. And it was all this act that we were playing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And I will say it looks like they're in love with him. I don't know that my mother looked like she was in love with herself, but they say, and I don't know if your mom's in this category, and maybe we don't need to label anybody, but with like narcissism, I mean, that's where it came from. They're in love with their reflection, right? How they appear.
Yeah.
But they don't. There's actually self-hate.
Oh yeah.
So the self-hate, they are, this is the way my therapist explained it. Okay, sorry, but I'll stop. I know I'm on a roll.
That's 100%.
But they have agony, and then they don't want to deal with that agony, so they project it onto you. You are causing me agony, and then they put their self-hate. So I think it is complicated. I'm oversimplifying it, but that was my experience.
Absolutely.
And that's our job, to heal and stop paying that forward, because I have to admit, I have put shame out there. I've put hate out there, and I try to make amends whenever possible.
Right.
So your mom... Yeah, so you're processing, like you said, if my mom doesn't love me, then I must not be lovable. That's a thought that I've had.
Yeah.
Or not just a thought, it's a belief. It's a core belief.
Right. So then I meet this guy, and he has the same type of mother that I have.
Oh.
And so we have all this stuff in common. Your mom doesn't like you. My mom doesn't like me. Oh, I love you. I love you too, and that was our connection. And he didn't have any kids. I was like, I don't have to worry about like his family. That was kind of my second husband, and actually my first husband had lots of family involvement where it just felt like, oh, we have to deal with the family again. And I was like, oh, there's none of that with him. This is great.
He's a solo traveler.
Yeah.
He's free. He has no encumbrances.
Nope. He had 2 dogs, one that I was completely head over heels in love with. And I was like, okay, he sounds kind of perfect. He lived out of state. So I'm at work one night and he calls me and he's like, guess where I am? And I'm like, where? And he's like, I've been driving all night and I'm in Southern Colorado. I'm coming to see you. And I was like, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
This feels wrong.
Yeah.
And
he did not ask.
He did not ask. And I was like, but is it romantic? And I kind of like covered it up with that. When I look back on it now, I'm just like, oh my God, you should have run like your hair was on fire. But at the time I was like,
we're lonely. We're also like to feel wanted for someone to drive out of 2 states. And I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
And is it, and again, I know some buzzwords, but the love bombing.
Oh.
And I'm even wondering, did he really have the same issue with his mom, or did he make it up to bond with you?
He did have an issue with his mom. When we ended up getting together and getting engaged, he called her and told her that he was engaged. And she just automatically started in on him with, well, you need to pray more. You need to go to church. Make sure that you guys are living your life with God, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, oh, okay, I kind of see that. But he didn't have any communication. But there's so many other things that happened that I was like, I had to get over coming to the place where I am now mentally. I had to forgive myself because I completely disregarded the red flags. There's this meme that's going around that says, oh yeah, I saw the red flags, but I thought it was a parade. And that's what I thought. That's right. That's right. I mean, this person had changed their name 2 different times.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't do that.
What, first and last name?
Yes.
First and last name twice.
I mean, I watch the murder shows. I should have known this is not okay.
Well, yeah. And I love, because when you and I were talking on the phone, you said something that I absolutely want to affirm on this podcast is trust your gut.
Yes.
Above all else. And don't talk yourself out of something if your gut is saying no.
Right.
Listen to it. It is such a wise voice. It is the wisest.
There is a reason that you have that there. That little inkling where the bells go off and you feel that uncomfortableness. Explore it. That's one thing that I had to kind of give myself grace about, is that I didn't always have the answers. I would know that something wasn't quite right, but it wouldn't come to me immediately. Like, what is it that I don't like about the situation? And so I've learned to kind of give myself a little bit of time and kind of let things marinate a little bit. And then it comes to me. But I can always trust my gut. And that was something that I had to really work on in therapy, is getting back to trusting my gut.
Yeah. Did you do some somatic body work?
I did. We did. We'd always talk about, where are you feeling this in your body? And then I did EMDR with the paddles. And because of COVID and having to meet virtually, I ended up buying my own paddles. And
the paddles are these vibrating little, like half an egg shape, right?
Yeah.
That you hold comfortably in your palms.
Yeah.
And they vibrate in each hand. And the idea with EMDR is that it goes from one side to the other, left to right. And then your brain is divided in 2 hemispheres. So they call it crossing midline. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, somehow it helps us break through encapsulated traumas that are walled off. And they get that way for a reason, because it's our survival instinct if something was a threat.
Right.
So you have this immediate, that's the trigger. The trigger is also something that could save you in an emergency.
Yes.
But then it gets maladaptive. It gets dysfunctional. I'm over explaining it, but those paddles are those little vibrator things so that you're crossing midline,
right?
And then you're on a Zoom call with your therapist. You're able to do EMDR over Zoom,
and you're thinking about the trauma, whatever issue it is that you're working on at the time. You're thinking about that and replaying it in your mind. So you kind of do that quietly, and then they say pause, and you turn off your paddles, and then you talk about what just happened, and then they're like, okay, go ahead and follow that. And then you do it again, and you do it again, and you just keep doing it until all of a sudden it doesn't bring up that feeling in the pit of your stomach anymore. It's like it's a miracle, I think. I know that they've used it for soldiers that have PTSD, and if you can find, I think a good therapist is really important if you're dealing with things.
Yeah. This is not a replacement for trauma therapy to listen to, but this is what I often say. This gets you through between sessions and just another thing in your toolbox.
Exactly.
And so wonderful. You've done that trauma therapy, EMDR. I've done EMDR and brain spotting, which is very similar, but you look at a certain point while you're doing it.
Okay.
If you've ever caught yourself staring at a certain point while you're processing something, that's similar, but it's like an activation. She'll have you, or they will have you look around until it feels intensified, and then you stay there, but you also have what I've used is bilateral music, which is the music going from ear to ear, similar. You could do the paddles as well. Yeah. But and then I've also done psychedelic trauma therapy, which I do quarterly with a therapist. Yeah. It's a 6-hour therapy journey. And I have to tell you, that's amazing, because I got to stuff that I couldn't quite get to. Really? With my EMDR and brain spotting. It was just it was infant trauma. Yeah. And it's intense, but yeah.
How do you feel after that?
Oh, I feel that, I think what happens is I feel empowered. I feel a sense of understanding of myself. Like, oh, if I'm not feeling heard, I'm not going to die. Like, what is that trigger about where I can really flip a switch about not feeling heard? Right. That it went back to having a memory of being suffocated. Whoa. So it's like, now I can just go, I'm okay. And again, I'm so paranoid to say this even out loud, because I feel my siblings going, that never happened, so I don't know whether, and I say this as a disclaimer to myself, whether it's real or imagined, I'm telling you, it gave me freedom, right? And it gave me empowerment, and I can be, well, it's integration, isn't it? About integrating. Yes. And so that it's not just a reflex, a reactive trauma thing, a reactive abuse. Right. Sorry, I'm talking more than you. Oh, no. You're my guest.
It's all right.
So you did the EMDR, and that was such a great tool for you. It
was amazing. And, the whole time that I'm working with my therapist, he weasels his way back in. We had a real messy breakup. It involved
he being your ex-husband.
Correct. Okay.
Your third ex-husband.
My third. That's right.
Third. Do we want to nickname him anything? I don't know. But anyway, just the third. Let's just call him, or the
Trauma
turd.
boy. No, I don't know.
I love the word third, because I was thinking it sounds like turd.
Yeah, it
But
does.
Anyway, your turd husband.
My turd husband.
Sorry, that's wrong. I know that's wrong. But your third husband. Okay.
Yeah, I found out that he was cheating on me. And for me, that's a hard pass. He had this young friend. We were both in our 50s, and this girl is 27. And I have kids that are that age. And he brought her around to the house on holidays and stuff like that. But it was his hiking buddy. And so
that's what I call it.
That's
you want to go hiking? Do you want to hike? Yeah, let's go hiking. Bring the lube.
Yeah. And there was gaslighting going on. I mean, I was suspicious, like, why are you talking to that person so late? And, she's my friend. And
your intuition and your gut knew, right? Yeah. On some level.
Yeah. And so I'm I've got trauma in my past. So of course I'm overreacting to this. And so it's my fault and blah, blah, blah. And, finally, I found some text messages, and I'm like, we're done. That's it. That's like a hard pass for me. If you cheat on me, I can't ever go back.
Yeah. And, like we just talked about, Cody being here talking about polyamory and all that's groovy if that's the agreement.
Exactly.
But if you're in a monogamous relationship, and that is you're in not just, a marriage, that you thought you're in a monogamous marriage.
I did. And the other thing was that he would withhold affection. And that was really hard for me too.
That's a form of abuse.
It is. Yeah. So for me, that was it. I mean, and I wanted him to leave with what he came with, which was nothing. I had bought him
his two dogs,
and I had bought him a vehicle, and I was going to let him have the vehicle. And so I'm like, get out. And he wouldn't leave. And so he, at one point, was standing over me, screaming at me while I was laying in bed, and I clocked him. And he waited 2 days for the bruises to really come out on his face, and then he called the cops. And so I was awakened. I was actually sleeping. It was a Sunday morning, and I was awakened to this cop standing over me saying, get up, get dressed. And I was arrested. And so
out of a sleep.
Yeah,
you were
sleep.
sleeping.
I was sleeping.
2 days after the incident, you're asleep, and they come in and arrest you.
Yep. And so I went to jail, and with DV laws in Colorado, you have to, I think it's 72 hours or something like that you have to be in jail. So this was a Sunday night. I think I had to stay in until Tuesday. Maybe it's 48 hours, but I had to stay in like for 2 nights. I remember that. And so I'm just thinking while I'm in there, and I'm like, I hope he's getting his stuff out because, you know, it's my house. We never incorporated finances or anything like that. So I'm like, I hope he's getting his stuff. And so I get out, and I had to Uber back home because he had taken my phone, by the way, too, during all of this, like while I was sleeping, while he's getting ready to call the police and stuff. He took my phone. And so I'm Ubering back home, and I go to use the charge account on my Uber, and it's denying it. And so I get home. He had completely wiped out my bank account. And I was like, are you kidding me? And so I ended up, you know, scraping things together. I lived off of credit cards for a couple of days till I could get things fixed up. It turns out that he did go ahead and pack up all of his stuff, and he moved into this girlfriend's place. And so I was like, okay, let's clear this out. This was a bad relationship. Let's clear it out. And so I, you know, of course, with the DV charge, you have to go through classes and do all that stuff. And
9 months.
Yep.
Every Monday night.
That's right. And so I did that.
But did you ever seek help from the Safe House as well? Because I'm so glad I did. Well, my ex, anyway, she shoved me around my house with my baby in my arms at one point, and then also grabbed me like 4 different times. Anyway, point is, thank God for the Boulder County Safe House, because they helped me understand what was going on.
That's good.
And they validated. And also, I still to this day, I will say I participated in domestic violence. They're like, yeah, you don't want to see yourself as a victim, huh? And I'm like, no. I go, I'm not a victim. I participated in this. I threw a fucking guitar, you know? And so... But they did help me understand a lot of stuff about sociopaths, which is, I mean, a lack of empathy, a lack of insight, lie. And they just as soon lies tell the truth, even when they don't need to lie.
Exactly.
And there's a lot more to it. But anyway, I'm curious about something. You were married, but was that considered the reason I got distracted by my own narrative over here? When he took money out of he cleared out all your money, are we going to get back to that? Does he ever get held accountable for this?
He does not.
No.
What happened, and I see it very clearly now, but we had been married for less than 3 years. We had only been married for 2 years. So in the state of Colorado, he's not entitled to any alimony until you've been married for 3 years. So we were at about 2 years and 3 months. So all of a sudden, when the restraining order is lifted, he comes back to me and is like, I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead and work on this. I want to go ahead and get back into therapy. Let's work this out. So we did go back to therapy. I was like,
even after all of that,
tell
me what can you share, like just to help anyone out there who is toying, because it is. I believe trauma bonds are addictive, and there's some part of us that feels it's going to fix us.
Yeah.
To heal this relationship will somehow make it the other one not so, which is the primary one, which is with a parent.
Yes.
In my experience, I had to truly grieve the loss of childhood so that I don't keep attracting the same people that I'm trying to heal, go back to the poison well with.
100%.
But when he calls you, I want to hear, at first, and can I share what he did?
Yes, you can.
Oh my God. This is when I knew you were with a sociopath. Because what they do is they don't have friends.
Nope.
They have flying monkeys.
That's right.
And so he sent out, and I don't know if it was to your whole friend list, or because he had your phone.
There was about 10 people.
So I don't, and I was his friend on Facebook. So I was friends with both y'all because he does. Oh yeah. He's so nice. He's so great. And he's just a wonderful person when you meet him. And then I got this email, a text, like a Facebook Messenger. I wonder if I still have it.
Oh my.
But it was like I feel like it was at midnight or one. I'm a night owl, so I'm up usually 2, 3 in the morning. It's not unusual for me, and it's like late. I just know that. I feel like it was very late. Maybe I'm wrong, but I saw it very late. Is all I don't know. Point is, what the fuck time doesn't matter, Nancy. The point is, the fucker sent me a message of his black eye saying, Sherri did this to me. I love her, but she's just a different person at certain times. And I thought, yep. You are a dick.
Yep.
Now, I don't even if, let's say it's true. Let's say what he said was true. Like, it's all you, Sherri. Even if it was, and you do that dick move and think that you're going to scrape away me from her friend. Oh, my ex did that. I know the playbook.
Right.
Not working with me, motherfucker.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So that's when I messaged you.
Yeah.
And said, hey, this is happening. Do
Yeah.
you know he's doing this?
And I got like ding, ding, ding from all these people that are like, he sent this to us. My one friend was like, he put a video on Facebook where he talked like 10 minutes about men who were physically abused and all that stuff. And it was like, are you kidding me? And he liked to call me an alcoholic all the time. I would drink wine pretty regularly, especially during COVID. I'm not proud to admit it that I turned to alcohol quite a bit after my shift. And he would bring it to me. He would buy it for me and then bring it to me and be like, you just need another glass of wine. You just need another glass of wine. But then if I poured one for myself, then I'm an alcoholic.
Oh,
so it was always
okay.
like, okay, thank you.
But yeah, they want to label the other person.
Absolutely. So yeah,
but that move of my ex did the same thing. Called all these people. And some of them were telling me, and I mean, the woman that took me in, and then she chose her, and I'm like, okay, anybody that chooses my ex, go for it.
Yep.
You got it, but
Yep.
you do not have me. You can't have both. And that is a rule. Do not be friends with anyone who is friends with your sociopathic ex or
That's right.
current sociopath.
Right.
I'm saying it because they don't have friends. They have flying monkeys.
That's right.
And they are just there to undermine your confidence in yourself. The Safe House taught me, if you leave a sociopath, you end the relationship. Rule number 1, you stay under their thumb the rest of your life. Rule, if you leave them, they want to annihilate you.
Yes.
And we should be grateful we got out with our lives.
We should. I feel so lucky.
So far.
He tried to destroy my career. He sought treatment. Now, granted, we live right across the street. At the time, we lived right across the street from a hospital in Longmont. He drove to my place of work 30 miles away to seek treatment from the crew that I worked with while I was in jail.
Sherri did this to me.
Yeah, look what happened to me.
Look what happened to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, he went ahead at like 2 years and 3 months into the marriage and was like, let's work this out. Let's see what we can do. And was just the nicest guy, was taking accountability for everything. And we almost get to the 3-year mark. And then he filed for divorce. And I was like, oh my God, I did it again. I am a sucker.
So he knew the law?
Yes.
So he was working it so that he could get maintenance or alimony or whatever they call it.
Yes. And fortunately, because we were in separate households at 2 years and 2 months, the judge was like, nope,
Yes. Thank you,
so,
Judge.
yeah.
I got to give a shout out to the good judges out there. I
Yeah.
had a really good one in my protective order hearing
Yeah.
who saw through. I mean, it wasn't that hard to see through
Yeah.
it, but they don't have to. They can go with, well, the law says.
Right.
And I just want to seriously give a shout out to the judges that are willing to really see what is going on.
Absolutely.
Because my lawyer told me in law enforcement, I called them for protection and I got made more vulnerable because of the way the law is. And I get that they're in a tough situation, but the black and white, I said, that's why the police show up in a black and white car because they have black and white thinking.
That's right.
But that's sort of, they have to like, oh, she says she threw the guitar, therefore she's the aggressor. And that's what my lawyer said. Yeah. And the DA wants them to just put it all on you. They don't want a complicated she said thing.
Right.
They just want it all on one person. Let's move the docket. Let's move on.
Right.
They don't care about justice. And that is why I never have to serve on jury duty again.
Fantastic.
Because I show up and I say it right to their face.
Yeah.
I say it to the prosecutor's face. You don't care about justice. And they go, we would like to dismiss Miss Norton. I get dismissed like that but I believe what I'm saying. I'm not bullshitting. I'm like, you guys are just here to move dockets.
And then I can hear the Law and Order ding ding.
Boom, boom. I know. It's so funny. I used to do that in my act. My ex was so obsessed with all the murder shows, like all the spouses murdering each other.
Yes.
And then Law and Order was like her favorite jam because she was a lawyer. And I swear to God, at the end of our relationship, I said, this is as close to sex as we get is when they do the bump, bump. It's like, ooh, did you feel it? I felt it. It's like our loins. We feel it in our loins.
I wanted to say a disclaimer too, that I actually tried to fight this with being self-defense because he was standing over me screaming. He, at that time, pulled out 2 years worth of recordings and video footage of me.
Oh, shit.
A lot of times I was disrobed, and he presented all of this to the DA and was like, here, look at her. Look at what she does.
Look how crazy she is.
Yeah.
Oh, they drive you crazy and then they record you.
Yeah.
And again, okay, I know this sounds like, okay, I don't want us to get in our victim energy.
Right.
But we do have reactive trauma stuff and we do have to be accountable for our behavior, right?
I didn't behave.
I did throw the guitar.
Yeah.
All right. We have chosen people who trigger our abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we have to be responsible for that. And you did. And I mean, these people do not underestimate their intelligence. That's one thing I would say.
Right. Oh, very smart.
Highly intelligent people.
Yes.
Brilliant manipulators.
Yep.
And we're open. We're telling them all our trauma. They know every button to push.
Absolutely.
Like in my program, we say we became reactors rather than actors. So if we get with these people who are, I think my dad said about my ex, he goes, I think she had this planned all along.
Yeah.
And the Save said, no, that was plan B, but it's still a plan.
Yeah.
Plan A, stay under the thumb, plan B. So he started gathering evidence.
Right.
He's recording you all the time without your knowledge.
Right.
Where did he do? Have cameras around the house?
Yes, that I didn't even know about.
Oh, that is the creepiest.
Yeah. And I remember when he first moved in, I was watching that show Dirty John. Oh, did you hear?
Yes, I listened to it on NPR.
Yeah. And so that was one of the things that he did is he put cameras inside the house.
The fact that he had control over the cameras, control over the recordings, and started downloading.
Yep.
Creating a file on you.
Yep.
For the time, and that he knew he was going to keep baiting, and he baited you.
Right.
And then you would have this reactive, trauma.
Yeah.
You'd have this PTSD response.
Right.
And I'm guessing reminded you of when you were powerless, because to me it comes out of a feeling of powerlessness.
Yes.
When you were a child and these cousins who took advantage of your innocence.
Right.
And you had no recourse as a child?
No, I felt completely helpless. I mean, there was no place to turn to. You couldn't go to, the elders in the church because they'd tell you it was your fault. I saw that firsthand. So,
and your mom she would just dismiss it. She just...
Yeah, I mean, I would tell her certain things, and she, because of her past, she didn't want to hear it. And so she'd shut it down real quick. Right.
Oh my God, Sherri. I'm so sorry that happened to you. You did not deserve it.
Thank you. I know that now. And in some of my work that we did, we have the different parts And so
internal family systems.
Exactly.
I love internal family system work.
And so my caring, nurturing part often will take care of my child part and give her the nurturing that she didn't have. So that's a really good place for me in my mind. You know, I picture us on the porch and stuff like that. And so, it's like the grown up Sherri that was a good mom to her kids. She now takes care of the little child that didn't have anybody. So,
that's beautiful. Well, the program I'm working for adult children, the solution is to become your own loving parent.
Absolutely.
So I'm doing similar thing. I'm working a guidebook right now, which is the Loving Parent Guidebook. And it's a simplified version of parts work, because I know there can be hundreds of parts with all these different roles. But ours is like there's the inner child, the inner teenager, the inner critical parent, which is when I look in the mirror and I have my mother's face and I'm like, oh shit.
I have my mother's face. Isn't it freak you out?
It's my face and I have to own it, because I was looking in the mirror the other day going, get out of here. And I'm like, who am I talking to? I'm talking to myself. But that part of us, but really that inner critical parent is trying to keep us safe.
Yes.
Like you have to behave. I hear my dog doing something. You have to behave in a certain way to keep yourself safe. And that's part of the fawning. Like you have to do this, that, not have these feelings, don't show that. And also like shame, like, oh, shame on you. You know, that's that, I can feel the shame in my body.
Yeah.
But so you're doing all that parts work. And and now you have these loving parts.
Yeah.
And that you can take care of her and you don't need, and that's where I think we can get out of this addictive relationship stuff.
Right.
Because nobody out there is going to heal our inner child.
That's right.
It's our own self being the loving parent. And I literally will hold my little baby.
Yeah. Everything that I need is right here.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
the power. Yep.
You've got the power.
That's right.
Let's dance. I've got the power.
And you know, this was another sign that I dismissed.
Oh, let's hear it.
When he brought, he had a box full of her dishes when he moved into the house that I lived in.
And they were all broken.
He did. He
No.
broke. Yeah, they were all broken. And I'm like, why
joking.
why are you keeping these? And he's like, oh, it's just a reminder. And I was like, that's not cool. But he had some excuse for it.
No, really. He had a box of broken dishes.
He did.
That belonged to his ex.
Yes.
That's just a reminder that she loved. Like a souvenir.
Yeah.
They are sick that way.
I know.
My ex kept a Nepalese door I had carved on the day my son was adopted. Have I already shared this too many times? I'll edit it out.
No, it's okay.
I feel like I'm repeating myself on this podcast.
I think you've told me this in person.
Oh, okay. I didn't know but I may have shared it on here too, because I do. I get triggered and then I'm like, I gotta tell it again. That she kept this door that was for him. It was carved in Nepal the day I signed his adoption papers. And in court, she's like, no, that was for me. I like carved wood, and would not give me. And I get that it was difficult to get a new door for your house. But I just wanted him to walk through a Nepalese door every day of his life, to know his culture.
Yes.
And to me, when you're depriving a 2-year-old of their carved door, and I just picture her always rubbing her little witchy hands going, I am the winner. I am the winner. That was her favorite phrase, she would say.
Wow.
After court, when she was in court, or even if we played a game of Scrabble, I am the winner.
Oh.
Talk about red flags.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, ooh, I love her so much. What's wrong with me? Oh, I have a little attraction to some really sick people. Yeah, she's hot to me, right?
Yeah.
The winner. I chose her. Can I just own that? I chose her. She chose me. Actually, she pursued me, but that's another story. Anyway, point is, meanwhile, cross town, what the other red flag you ignored was that he showed up with these dishes.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, that's not cool. I mean, they're broken dishes. They serve no purpose. Why won't you throw them away? And I didn't see the big picture at the time.
It was because he could keep them.
Yeah.
He stole them. But do you think it's also, did he think it was evidence or something?
Maybe. I don't know. I stopped trying to get inside that head.
You know what? I really appreciate you saying that, because when we try to get inside the mind of, and I'm going to say a sociopath, when we try to get inside the mind of these people, it it like is a 3D printer in our own brain.
Yep.
And it starts writing code in our own brain. I picture these two things moving at once as you're going through it. They're wired different.
They are.
They are just wired different, man.
Yeah.
You may never, ever, we can't. And that people who don't empathize can't understand people who do empathize, and vice versa. We just do not compute.
Right. And I can only be responsible for what I brought to the table.
Right. And that's where your power is.
Yeah. And so
Where did I ignore my red flags?
Yeah. And I wasn't innocent in this. I did stuff. And so, yeah, I owned my part of it. I forgave myself for it. And then I was able to move on. And so, yeah.
And now we're writing jokes about it.
That's right.
Now, and look at us. This went fast. Man, I love talking with you, Sherri.
I love talking with you too.
This is the stuff, man. Right now in my life, my friends, I'm just feeling this fun vibe of a different frequency, and the frequency of empowerment. And again, giving a shout out to higher power helps me resource and like not get stuck. That's another point of this podcast. Please don't get stuck and just get in that dour energy and that darkness, and get into those things where there's only one way out.
Right.
You deserve to have a great life.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so what about comedy? You're going to do another set coming up.
Yep.
And then do you have some comedy? Do you have any comedy that came out of that trauma or anything specific? Or
I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like talking about it with you helps me kind of categorize it in my mind, where I'm like, I need to start writing. I've been a little bit stuck because for a while it was painful to talk about.
Yeah, well, it's too close sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, either the whole tragedy plus time thing, or also concentric circles out of the center of the trauma.
Right.
But like, I think there's some jokes in the broken dishes that he's moving around
There's
the country.
gotta be.
He's still traveling with those.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm sure that he still has that
sure
box. What do you think he took from you, though? Does he have a souvenir? You got your pets back.
I got my pets
I
back.
lost my pets. That was another thing that my
I'm
ex
sorry.
kept as a souvenir from me, as a point of like, she'll never ever see this parrot again. She's never going to see this cat again. And I know that's because she knew I was bonded with both of those animals, and she had 3, and I would never want to. I wouldn't do that to the animal. I don't want to separate the animal from its beloved partner, because I am very much a believer in that our animals are a family.
Absolutely.
And my heart, oh my God, this parrot and I were so, like, he was my baby.
Oh.
I will cry. And I cried in court. My dad looked so disgusted because he's such a, manager of his feelings.
Right.
But it's like, that was my baby for 11 years.
Yeah.
And he was my baby. I mean, he was.
Oh.
So I still feel bad for him up there because they live
know.
to be 100.
Right.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
And then my cat, I'm sure, has passed on, but she was my girl.
Oh.
But these people, I don't know, it's just fascinating to me. And they don't understand that it's really not going to satisfy them.
No.
They think it does. And I guess it gives them fuel. Like, I have to watch it because I probably just now gave her a little bit of fuel metaphysically, they kind of live off our energies, they get our fuel, our I think sometimes because we are connected to a lot of heart energy and higher power energy. And
Or
I think,
maybe your bird just feels a little extra love.
let's take it. Let's
Yeah.
send it to him.
Yeah.
And you know what? In my higher self moments, I can send her my ex love because I know she's miserable.
Right.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, and it is sad. It's too bad.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to heal her, but that's my control issue.
Right.
So
I know,
you have a boundary. So you're trying like, okay, how do I touch in without getting sucked into that?
Right. So I'm just like getting back into it. I'm a procrastinator.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I don't have my date yet for this contest coming up has kind of been like, I'm waiting. And I'm like, you got to write, Sherri, you got to write. So I'm going to do it. I in fact, was very much looking forward to doing this podcast so that it kind of spurs something in me.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that's
All right.
what I'm hoping.
Well, we can, and we can riff a little bit, whether we leave it in or not. But it would be kind of fun. Like, let's take some stuff and play with it.
Okay, I know what he took from me.
Oh.
I came back from jail, and then I had to spend the night in a hotel, and I came back and there was no silverware. He had taken all of the silverware.
He took the fucking Go fork yourself. Go fork yourself,
right.
dude. That is fork yourself in the ass with that. Wow. You came home and there's no silverware.
No silverware. And I'm like, what the?
And it's not silver. It's actually just flatware.
It was flatware.
Flatware from some place it's not silver.
Like Bed Bath or Beyond. Yeah. I mean, it was like, okay,
I can imagine if it's real silver.
Yeah, but it was like it was annoying because of course I didn't go home and look in the silverware drawer. It was when I actually needed a fork or a spoon and there's nothing there. And I'm like, really? Thank you. That is inconvenient.
They do some weird mind fuckery.
Yeah.
That's just the mind fucking.
Yeah.
That
so I
is
think I ate my cereal out of like the big spoon that day because there was a ladle or something. So.
You're ladling your.
Just put the cereal and the milk in the ladle and just suck
there
it
you
out.
go. Yeah. Just, I mean, that you could invent something that way, right? I love when something bad happens and it turns into like this invention of like, oh, guess what I just invented? Start a new trend. In Nepal, they eat everything with their hand anyway.
There you go.
So you could figure out a way to like shovel Captain Crunch in your face. I don't know.
Get down and start eating it like the dogs do out of their bowl.
And what if you found out that's an antidepressant? You know what?
Maybe.
I have heard that eating off of silverware distances us from like. There is something about putting the hand to the mouth that is, I think, obviously more organic.
Right.
But I had a friend from Pakistan. I've had housemates that are Indian. And when they said they can taste the metal and it ruins food for them.
Oh.
Like I think we've learned to turn off the taste of metal. Probably with the mercury in my mouth as well. Yeah, but that would be kind of cool if you found out like, oh, this turns out it's an antidepressant to eat with my hands.
Right.
But, I mean, let's come up with some like whatever is empowering, like, as much as they try to ruin your life. Now, there are people that get maimed and murdered by these people.
Yes.
And so sometimes, and this is, I mean, okay, this might be controversial to say. I don't know. But I always looked at, because I thought, why, God, why was I the one that had to go to jail? Why didn't she go to jail? Mm-hmm. And the message I get is because then she would have killed you. Like they have to win the battle and let them win their little battles so that they and hope and pray. I mean, I don't know what to hope and pray for. It's like all of a sudden I was going to say hope and pray they find other game, but then you don't wish that on anybody.
No.
But honestly,
what is
but that is
dig a hole with the spoons.
What's he doing with the spoons, man? Yeah. Where's he peddling those spoons? Look around next door and find all your shit.
That's right.
Let's go on next door and find all your spoons. We're on it. If anybody has seen Sherri's spoons, you can keep them.
I've moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The spoon. I let that go. All right. After this, you're going to have to go back to therapy. But now you got the paddles. Remember, you've always got the paddles, Sherri.
That's right.
If new stuff surfaces, it might be fun to make fun of the red flags. I like to make fun of myself. Mm-hmm. Like, where did there's so many moments where I was like, and that was another I thought would be fine.
Right.
Like the fact that I went with this person who's like, I am the winner. And I'm like, I really like her.
I mean, if I was sitting and watching this on Dateline, I would just be like, he changed his name. Why? And that's another thing. So I'm such a terrible person in all of this, but he took my name when we got married, and I asked for it back at the divorce, and he kept it. Right?
That's another thing he took.
Yes. So why?
Shit. He's still using your name?
Yes.
As far as you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you want to keep it? If I was married to someone that I proclaimed all of this horrible stuff about, I would want to take my name back.
He is so gross.
He is gross. That's my type, apparently. No.
Now, see, that's what we got it. My therapist says you got to speak in past tense because that is a joke I'm doing. Like, I have been through 2 divorces because I have a type, sociopath. And then I feel bad for my husband because he wasn't a sociopath.
It's for the bit, though. It's okay.
For the bit. Yeah. But I have to watch that. I say it, but this is, again, back to that spiritual thing. I say I get a little preachy here on the podcast because I do have a spiritual belief that we put out to the loving universe. I do not want to keep saying I have a type. Right. I had a type, and I think I got to really work on saying it that way.
Right.
I had a type, and that type was sociopath.
Yeah.
And kindly alcoholics. I had a type.
Yeah.
Now, my new type is, I think, just me.
Here's
Good.
your type right here.
Yeah, Sophie's our mascot.
Yep,
She's our traumedy dog.
that's right.
And she really is. She does move through our house. And I was told this by a pet psychic person. They do move through the house and move energy.
Oh, I believe it 100%.
And they are just full. I mean, they are just love incarnate.
Yeah.
And they only bring love. And it's just amazing, isn't
Yeah.
it? That's why you have
That's
five
why I
dogs.
have 5 of them.
And then, well, they're little, so that
They are.
They're probably altogether don't weigh as much as Sophie.
It's true.
Don't eat as much food. Don't have as much poop.
That's right.
So it's just.
Although I feel like my life is full of poop. I just feel like every day there's just so much poop everywhere.
Yeah, but I like poop when you can see that it's poop.
Yeah.
And not like your turd husband.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
true.
When there's a turd in the house, and that to me is like, here, let's call poop. But when the
Right.
turd pretends to be
Yeah.
a
when they were-
rose,
Yeah.
oh, he pretended to be a rose. No, you were a turd.
Right. I have very definite parameters on what I learned from this. And that was to trust my gut
Okay.
and to set boundaries.
Trust my gut. Set boundaries.
Because, growing up the way I did, it was like, well, he came all this way. And if you ask him to leave, then that's going to be impolite and all that stuff. And I was still kind of living off
Fawn.
of those.
That's
I
that
was
fawn.
fawning. Yeah. And so I now am in a different place where if that happened today, it would look so much differently.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And it won't happen today because you don't need it.
That's
You don't
right.
need to learn that lesson again.
That's right.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And again, just so glad you got out,
Me too.
and that you look beautiful. And I can tell you have that different vibration.
I do.
So thank you so much for sharing. I know it's not easy to share all that kind of trauma. And let's do a cleansing, Sherri.
All right. Let's
Yeah.
take a cleansing breath.
And let's ask for protection, and may everyone listening to this podcast, even people that have harmed us, may we all have a protection of golden light around us and hopefully rise to a higher vibration and don't come around here.
But you stay in your own yard.
Stay in your yard. But I am trying to work on that which we resist persists. So I do want to release that energy with that person. Like whatever I don't want any hooks into them at all. I don't want hate into them. I don't hate you. I don't hate you. I don't respect you. And I see through you. And I do want some space from you. And I do feel sorry for people around you if you haven't done your healing work around this, which honestly, I don't hold out a lot of hope for sociopaths because it's just a tricky path, man. But we can do our thing.
That's right. Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Thanks, Sherri. I'd like to thank my guest, Sherri Harper. I learned a lot. I laughed a lot. Moved some energy. Still taking nice deep breaths. Continue to do that. If you want to support Traumedy, there's a way to do that here on Spotify. I don't know exactly how to do it, but I think there is a way if you want to support. Become a supporter of Traumedy. And it is right now, I'm recording this at 4:45 in the morning because I am a Virgo and I'm like, I want this to be just a little better on the audio. I don't know. It's something I do. I would love to generate some funds to hire an audio engineered kind of person. And thank you for your support in advance. All right. And if you can't support me, hey, that's okay. Just listen. Thanks for tuning in every Tuesday, Traumedy Tuesday. Well, you can listen any day of the week. We launch a new episode. We being me, my internal family system, and I. Who is I? Who is I anyway?